cool. We're back. The only thing we lost was the AI girl telling us plot. You know, like, oh no, Spectre's attacking this stuff. You go. Like, I already finished the tutorial.
Oh no, just go watch like a YouTube video that shows you that cutscene if you're really that interested.
Really, honestly, yeah. Or better yet, play the video game. It's really good.
Yeah, and unlike a lot of other like classic video games, you can actually do that. It's like I've been watching people talk. I've been watching some like Tony Hawk's Underground videos, and everyone's like, "Man, this video game's so good," and I'm like, "Yeah, if only we could play it."
On like modern hardware, you mean?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, even officially, like you can't put down like you can't get that officially, even on PC. It has to be.
Well, you can't really get this game officially either.
No, this is on the PSN store.
Is it on the PS5 one or the 4 one?
I mean, it was because that's where I played it like earlier this year.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if it might be a region thing, but you can get this on like PSN.
I mean, I know there's a PSN version of it that was on PS3. Obviously, the version I'm playing is my own original copy from when I was a child.
Obviously.
The only difference is I ended up getting a newer case for it. Where I swapped cases at one point because I played this game so much as a kid, the case got all fucked up.
You know what you need? You know what? This is a classic game. You know what's great about this classic game? Or actually, you know what the worst thing is? Not spending $100 on costumes.
Oh yeah.
We need to fix that because we were talking about how to. We were in the previously cursed recording. We were talking about how do you fix the gaming and the movie industry, and Dan hit upon the idea of, just don't spend as much money.
Yeah, it's gonna be spliced in, so they're gonna hear it already.
Yeah.
Like,
So anyway,
the YouTube version is gonna have it spliced.
I think the alternative idea we should have is, what if we just charge people up the nose for everything until the bubble bursts?
That seems like a really stupid and short-sighted idea.
What you're saying is it's exactly what the gaming industry should be doing right now, gotcha?
No, I'm saying it's what they're going to do, but not what they're supposed to do.
I mean, what do you mean going? It's what they're doing.
Yeah.
You want to play as Shang Tsung? You want to play as Shang Tsung in that $80 game you bought? Go fuck yourself. Another 20, please.
It's so ridiculous.
Oh, Street Fighter 6 is like the best-selling Street Fighter game. Oh man, if only it turned a profit. Anyway, you want these costumes? Here, give us another $50. Fuck you.
50, if only. It's fucking 100.
Yeah, if only.
I wish it was only $50.
I was being generous. Thanks, Capcom. And it is like.
Well, I mean, this all started with Mortal Kombat, and everyone just started copying Mortal Kombat's DLC practices.
But it's still
in terms of raising the prices, I mean.
It's always funny to me how every time Capcom gets a win, there's like this.
Someone in corporate has to make it lose.
There's this immediate response because it's like every time they're like, oh, people like what we're doing. We can't have that. People like the new direction we're taking Resident Evil. What do? Let's fucking ruin it. Let's crash this ship with no survivors. Bam! RE3 mate. Bam! RE8. 2 trash games, one after another.
Careful on that RE8 one. People will get mad. They like that one for some reason.
I mean, they can like it all they want. It's trash.
Well, again, I don't even like RE7, but what do I know?
I mean, I think RE8 had the potential to be a great game, and I think it squanders that potential pretty well. Almost as soon as you realise the best section of the game is also bad.
It genuinely does. I think something I've said before is that and it's very apparent in that game, they don't know what to do antagonist-wise after killing Wesker. Like, and even when they do make an antagonist who is okay, or people enjoy, like the fucking, Natreska, I think that was her name? The big vampire lady that everyone was horny after.
Oh, Natreska.
That everyone was horny for and liked, who was genuinely just, like, the most interesting one of the bunch they made for that game. they throw her out right away. She dies immediately. Every other character is like bargain bin shonen enemies.
You wish they were like that.
They're like fairy tale shonen enemies.
Yeah. I wish I could say, but then I'm like, I did watch a fair amount of fairy tale. I can't remember a single one of the antagonists.
Exactly.
Oh no.
Exactly. I knew what I was saying when I said it.
But like, the problem is that Castle Dimitrescu is the best part of the game. Like, because it's the one that's basically like, here, let's do the parts of like Resident Evil 2 that people really liked. But then it's like, after, and it's one of those things where like on the very first playthrough, it's like, oh yeah, it's everything you want. It's, you know, tall vampire lady that you could, you know, be horny for. It's your looping areas, your big mansion. And then on like any subsequent playthrough, you realise actually how like weak of an area to explore the castle is. You realise the combat is pretty bad. Lady D isn't actually as interesting of like a chase character as like say you know, X is. It's kind of one of those things where in many ways X has kind of ruined the Resident Evil pursuit characters because so many of them are just trash in comparison.
I'm not really sure how to explain what makes him work, considering like he doesn't really have a personality per se.
It's the environment.
Yeah, you're right.
RPD is like a much better map is a much better and more interesting map. It has a lot more challenges, it's got more enemy variety. Whereas like, I mean, also helps that you don't ever actually get chased by Nemesis in Remake, because Remake is bad, and anyone who says otherwise is just
I don't even like original 3, so I can't really comment. And I haven't played Remake, so I can't really comment on which one I would prefer either way. I own Remake because I got it in a pack, but I haven't played it.
Oh, I think you hate it. Especially when Dog Nemesis shows up.
What a wild curiosity.
Oh, because it's just, at that point, like, the game is just a linear, slogfest. And also, Dog Nemesis is the worst boss fight, so of course that's the one they repeat. It's awful.
You know how that game could have been better? If they didn't focus all their time on that stupid live service game that nobody played?
Yeah, probably. But you know, it's Capcom. They have to do, every time they make a good decision, they have to balance the scales and do a terrible one. It's the only way, Dan. There's literally no other way.
Now I'm wondering how they're gonna fuck up Dragon's Dogma 2.
Oh, they'll find a way. They'll find a way. 800 Microsoft points for horse armor. Bring that back. Bring that back. Remember when we thought, man, that is...
I was like, man, this is as bad as it gets, isn't it? Right?
We all thought, man, what an insane thing. I can't believe anyone would, like,
what
buy
naive
that.
sluts we were.
And now we're like, wow, that's cheap. You have to pay, like, premium for that. That'd be like... That'd be like digital super edition exclusive.
Oh, actually, speaking of like the horse armor thing. So, you know how a lot of people complain about, you know, traversing in Starfield, the fact that it's really boring and there's nothing to do? And
yeah,
someone made a theory and said that they're gonna fucking sell, like, fucking ships or something that you could ride on the maps. So anyway, that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, that sounds like a Bethesda plan. Make the bad game and then make you pay to get the game to be, you know, I was gonna say good, but then like playable.
Tolerable.
Yeah. That is a 100%.
Resemble a video game.
That is 100% a Bethesda scheme.
What? Bethesda doing schemes they would never. Anyway, I love my my bag that I got from Fallout 76.
Oh, was it Canvas when it arrived?
What? Yeah, no, what? What?
Oh, another your fully operational pit boy. By fully operational, I mean there's a card.
Did they actually advertise that it's fully operational? I don't remember.
I honestly don't remember, but it's Todd, so I'm gonna say
I could
yes.
see them lying through their teeth and saying, yeah, it's fully operational, guys.
I'm fairly certain I'll put it this way, I'm pretty sure that at the very least, the version they showed off in all the promotional...
was not the final one that you get when you buy it.
Yeah, but it's okay, because all those YouTubers strapped it to their wrist and they said, oh yeah, Fallout 76 isn't a piece of shit. Everyone is just being mean to poor little Bethesda, this small indie company.
I know, honestly, honestly, it was uncalled for us to make fun of them.
Yeah.
Like, why did we do that? Like, why are we so bad? Why are we bad guys?
I'm just a degenerate, what can I say? Todd knows exactly what I am. He knows me. What can I say? He got me. When nobody else got me, Todd got me. This is getting weirdly sexual, but okay.
Trust me, I think it was weirdly sexual for him.
I didn't say stop. You know the difference between me and Todd? I don't have to pay someone for it.
Yeah, you're right, you didn't pay me. Where's my money?
I ain't paying you shit.
Fuck!
I'll pay you exactly what you're worth.
5 schmeckles?
Oh, ambitious today, aren't we?
Listen, I just caught a monkey before I drowned. That should be worth something.
Oh, congrats, you didn't drown.
Yeah!
I accomplish that every day. I accomplish that in my sleep.
But yeah, honestly though, with the whole costume DLC thing with Street Fighter 6, like originally Street Fighter 6 was gonna be like on my top 5 for like the year, and I can't like in good conscience put it there. Because it's wrong. It's just I hate that they're doing DLC shit.
As I said, it's Capcom's like curse. They have to ruin every bit of goodwill. I don't understand why.
Like, it's really, really annoying.
It'd be one thing if you were saying, like, oh yeah, Street Fighter 6, its sales weren't that great. You know, they've got to try and recoup their losses, but it's like Street Fighter 6 has literally sold the best out of the franchise.
It's like the best-selling fighting game, period, right now, I think.
Yep.
Like, it actually dethroned Mortal Kombat. I mean, it helped that Mortal Kombat also released, like, a worse game than usual, even though all Mortal Kombat games are bad. But bad by even Mortal Kombat fan standards. Which,
yeah, even Ed Boon is, like, not just is keeping his mouth shut. Do you know what that usually takes to get him to keep his mouth shut?
A lot.
Yeah.
Considering this is the guy who, like, is like, yeah, no, it's inevitable for Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat to have a crossover. Well, Capcom's adamantly like, no, we're not fucking doing that. We don't want to do that because we don't want, like, our characters getting, like, split open by Mortal Kombat characters. We don't want that.
That is inevitable as Avengers 5, the Tang Dynasty, or whatever it is. But look, it's just hilarious that
Tangy has a first name.
Also, hi, Quill.
Hey, Quill.
I mean, the difference in philosophy of Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. I mean, Mortal Kombat has just always gone on this, or always banked itself off of, well, one thing, which is gore. Which is funny, because
Ed Boon will swear up and down that's not true.
Yeah, well, maybe if Ed Boon could ever make a competent fighting game, we could talk. But until that day, like, he and I have literally the exact same level of experience of making good fighting games.
You're not wrong, though.
Yeah. In fact, arguably, I have more experience because I didn't make Mortal Kombat versus DC.
True. You know the thing, though, is, honest to God, because I've played that game, all of the things that are wrong with that game is everything that's wrong with every fucking Mortal Kombat game. So I sit there like, what is the reason why they hate this one, though? I mean, the answer is very obvious, because there's no blood and gore.
Yeah. The one thing people like Mortal Kombat for.
Yeah, it's literally it. No, they like it for the lore, the story.
No, they don't. No, they don't, because they fucking get rid of that shit every 5 minutes.
Hey, that's what they keep telling me.
Who the fuck tells you that?
People trying to pretend they're not reading a Playboy. Wait, hold on. I think I'm reading my scripts mixed up. Yeah, they read it for the article. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I got my scripts mixed up.
Hey, that's insulting. Apes are intelligent species.
Well, the apes is in Mortal Kombat. Well, I mean, to be fair, it could be like King Kong or something. Maybe he was a fan.
Yeah, I think even Kong would be, sane enough to just go, oop, this game bad.
Coop Nino like Coop.
I wonder what fighting game Kong would like.
Primal Rage.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
There's literally 2 monkeys.
Yeah.
I mean, if I would have said Bloody Roar, but he'd only like the first Bloody Roar, because it's the only one with a monkey. Bloody Roar 1 had a monkey. Like, they didn't have a monkey after that for some reason.
Yeah, that is one of the weird things to not have. I guess, actually, if you're going to do a whole thing.
They only had a fox in one game as well.
Yeah, but I can at least understand the whole. If you're not going to do it, if you're doing your whole like zoanthrope thing, you don't really want to have it in an ape because apes are pretty similar to filthy, disgusting humans anyway.
Fair enough. Though I mean,
basically,
but then again, Bloody Roar also has literally a thing that's called the Unknown.
Yeah, well, so does Tekken.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, but yeah, we've ragged on Mortal Kombat and NetherRealms a lot.
Oh yeah, that reminds me, because we've made fun of Injustice Forever. So apparently there was leaks with the that fucking Suicide Kill the Justice League game. They just like strap Batman to a chair and shoot him in the head.
That was easy. Why didn't the Joker ever think of doing that?
They kill him. This is Kevin Conroy's last role because he died, and I just can't help but think about that when thinking of this.
Oh, ain't that poetic? That's it.
That's what I mean. It's so. I mean, obviously they didn't know he was gonna die, but it's just so. It's so fucked that's how they decided to kill Batman.
To be fair, Quill, there is absolutely nothing wrong about people actually enjoying Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah.
It's just more. Well, the problem really comes in when, and I argue this is a lot more of an Ed Boon thing, because I feel like the average Mortal Kombat fan doesn't really, or people who are unironically Mortal Kombat fans, don't really give a shit about how much of prestige they think, or other people
they really
think
just
their
want
game
to see. They want to see the action figures blow up.
Yeah, and that's all fine
Yeah.
and good. My real issue comes in with people like Ed Boon and NetherRealm developers who act like
and like the weird fans who like
hits.
and like those weird fans that like hold up its plot like it's actually something good when it's not.
Well, I mean, if it's so good, why do they keep just throwing it in the trash?
Yeah, why do they keep rebooting it? I've been making a joke for a while now. Since like MK12, I'm not going to call it 1. Fuck you, Ed Boon. When they said they were rebooting it, I've been making a joke where I just keep saying like, yeah, maybe I'll get into Mortal Kombat after 2 more reboots. I think that's when it'll be good.
Yeah.
But the boring story one, the people that are like, oh yeah, I like the story, or like the same ones that are like, they looked at the fact that Reptile is no longer like a lizard man, and they're like, yeah, that's what I like. I hate it when he was a lizard man. And I'm like, what? How are you this boring? That was the cool part, him being a lizard man, being this weird lizard.
That's the only unique thing about.
Like I was like, I like Reptile. I don't like Mortal Kombat, but I like Reptile because he's a weird lizard guy. You fucking take that away? That's the one thing you had!
Well, it was a cool idea, and we can't do cool ideas, because it's NetherRealms.
Mortal Kombat fans don't like cool... Well, those Mortal Kombat fans don't like cool things.
I don't think it's that. I think it's the basic... It's the kind of mentality of, well, I like this thing, therefore I have to justify... Therefore I have to defend, like, every aspect of it. Because this is just a trait of humans where, like, where people will like something and they'll instinctively think, okay, well, that means I have to like everything about it forever, and like there can never be any part of something I like that I just don't like. So, I mean, my biggest gripe with Mortal Kombat, aside from, people like NetherRealms themselves who hold it in this weirdly high regard, it's just that whereas, like, it hasn't changed or evolved in like, you know, the 30-odd years it's been around. Like, every other fighting game has basically been forced to update itself or fully reinvent itself.
Reptile is a lizard man, but he's like always in human form now because that's boring and that's what they're doing. He's got a lizard form, but they like rarely show it. But like, what's the fucking point?
It's just like the movie. Where he was a lizard in the skeleton.
Why would you want it to be just like the movie? It's gross.
I don't want it.
I'm asking the people that were like that were clapping that he was no longer a funny lizard guy. Like that's the cool
Who
part.
knows?
But
yeah, so it's like,
but yeah.
and it's kind of the annoying thing where if you ever look at, I always find it hilarious just watching like high level Mortal Kombat gameplay, and it's like, yeah, sometimes you'll get like a music, like, you know, actually cool looking sets with like people who know what they're doing, but then so many of the other like tournaments just kind of devolve into stupid bullshit. Like, I always remember the fucking days of Injustice and the projectile spam loops.
I mean, that's modern NetherRealm in general, to be honest.
Other developers have been guilty of that before. Like, I think we can all remember, like, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite fucking web ball Reality Stone loops, where Spider-Man just sits there and is like, Reality Stone!
Wait, hold on. Train, nobody remembers that because nobody played that game.
True. I didn't even play that game.
Isn't it depressing how that's going to be the last Marvel vs. Capcom game?
No, the last Marvel vs. Capcom was going to be Marvel 3, baby.
That's what you want it to be, but unfortunately, the reality is the real last one was.
Oh yeah, what was the last Marvel game at Evo?
That doesn't count. That's not the last one that was released, Pinhead.
It's the last one that matters.
Yes, but it's not the last one.
I love Marvel 3.
I do. It's a great game. The modding scene is fucking crazy for it now.
Yeah.
Like, there is so much cool shit people put in. People have like put in like entire like new rosters with that. They've even figured out how to make it so they don't have to like go over original characters. It's fucking insane. This game is. It's so old game, but in all of the, in my opinion, best ways. I fucking love Ape Escape. We both love Ape Escape.
In a lot of ways, I'm not going to say like PS1 specifically, but this era is the peak of 3D platformers. Because you have a lot of huge hitters that come out basically swinging from the start.
Yeah.
Like, this is a banger. Like, as memed as it is, Mario 64 is a fucking banger.
Like, it's not my cup of tea, but I see what you're saying, yeah.
Crash Bandicoot. Well, I say Crash 2.
Crash 2 and 3 are like my favorites.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more of a 3 fan, but I also really like 2.
2's my favorite. Spyro, the Spyro trilogy. I would argue in a lot of ways Spyro is like the best because it's the most consistent across all three of its like titles on this era.
Oh yeah. Like the Crash, all three of the Spyro games are good, and I think they only really got better as they went along.
And there's other like standout 3D platformers after this era, but like I feel like you just don't have the hit after hit after hit levels. Like, I love Tiger Tasmanian Tiger as like a throwback.
Yeah, and there's like a number of like good indies and such, but like they're not as common as they were back now.
Yeah.
The biggest flaw of like these older games is the camera, obviously. Because even in this game, while it's really good, there are like parts where I'm struggling with the camera, but I'm used to these kind of games.
Yeah. I mean, Ape Escape is in a lot of ways like one of those sort of like almost perfect games. Its soundtrack is so memorable and
like if you made a remake of this game, and like just like improve touch up the camera a little bit, and that's really all you'd have to do. Oh, that's really all you'd have to do. Oh, you're talking about the PSP version?
Yeah.
Oh, the PSP version controls weird because it's on the PSP.
I only has one stick.
Yeah.
I never played it.
I played it. It's alright. I didn't like controlling it as much. because of.
No, but you see, what I think this game needs is I think it needs a bunch of non-cutscenes where you just walk and talk.
No.
Imagine if you had entire sequences. Imagine if, in this game where you went to catch monkeys, right? And that's your core premise. So what I think is we need is a lot of scenes of characters who are not Spike, not catching monkeys, and just talking about Spike catching monkeys. Like, what if we had a scene where this is wherein lies the problem, because we play different versions that have different dubs, so outside of Spike, outside of Spike and Spectre, every other character has a different dub name for me. So I'm going to try and remember what your character's called. But imagine if we just had a scene of, like, Natalie having
Natalie
to talk
was
to the professor. So, but like, I know you're thinking, why would you not want to catch monkeys in a game about catching monkeys? Well, let me introduce you to Sony Computer Entertainment.
Honestly, like the Japanese development branch makes so many really good games, and it's fucking. It genuinely makes me sad how that branch got completely dissolved, and they just don't want to make those kind of games anymore. I'm not saying like the Western stuff they shouldn't make those. They might not be my thing, but like they shouldn't have gotten rid of the entire Japanese branch and killed it.
Yeah, because therein lies one of the big problems, is that it's kind of funny because it's actually relevant in films now, but in Japanese games, you just get a lot more weird, like, for lack of a better phrase, weird shit.
More creative liberties and such. Sometimes more symbolism rather than it just like being blunt.
Not even just that, there's more risks taken. Like,
yeah.
There are so many games where it's like, classic games where it's like, this is a gamble to make this sort of game. Like, look at basically any Kamiya game.
Oh god, yeah.
And you can argue about the success of those, but it's like
until you get to Automata, then it's like, well, yeah, that one's a success. And the remake of Nier 1 did really well.
Yeah, but it's more like there's an element to it where it's so weird and quirky and fun, because it's not really trying to just hit like the key trends. It's just
it's not trying to get Game Awards.
It's more like we're just going for a core idea and we're going to try and make that idea work and be fun. And yeah, we'll throw in some weird rando bullshit along the way. And there's such genuine merit to having a process like that alongside your people who are just going to hit all the right notes. Here are all of our characters that we need to hit for our diversity quota. Here's our slightly irrelevant at this point political commentary. Orange Man bad, as we all know.
I mean, he is bad, but God, is it really? It's
but do we need to have that like forever?
It's kind of like what was it? As much as you and I both love the tiny hands gag because he has got tiny hands and it makes him mad, which is really fun. I remember when I was watching the reboot of Animaniacs, even I started groaning.
Okay, we get it. He's bad.
And like Animaniacs is always political, but it was funny. The reboot just genuinely wasn't very funny.
I never watched it because I
don't really recommend it.
Fears.
It genuinely feels like someone who, through osmosis, was aware of Animaniacs and then wrote Animaniacs to fix it. You couldn't see me do the thing with my fingers, but I hope you felt it.
I felt it.
Like how Dot is just Yakko 2. They just made Dot Yakko 2. And it's...
Just remove all of personality.
Because, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Just remove all of that personality.
Yeah, like, they didn't understand the gag of Dot, where it's like, she's the cute one. Yeah, that's the other part of the joke is she's a cute one, and then she tries to murder you, because it's funny.
And also,
she's the most violent of them.
And also, she didn't want to finger Prince.
It's true, she did not want to finger Prince. I think I probably mentioned this on the stream before, but the joke that killed me was the Ronald Reagan in therapy gag. That one fucking got me.
Oh, now they should have a gag about Henry Kissinger in hell.
I wouldn't trust the current team to do it properly, though, unfortunately.
No, probably not. But, like, yeah, there's always been this, like, virtue to having the sort of the old school Japanese game game development mentality of, okay, here's our basic idea, let's just see if it works, and if it doesn't work, oh well.
And I think, and like I said, I do think both ideas are valid, but it's that thing of like I was saying before, because a lot of the games that we're talking about are like either riskier or like sometimes often like lower budget middle shelf games, and kind of like with the thing with the movie industry, they don't want to make middle shelf anymore, and they're just
it's like the top shelf they make is also just. I've told this story on before, but I doubt Quill knows it, so I'm going to repeat it for him. I just remember when I watched like the. Oh, her. Sorry.
Yeah, I do know them.
I didn't mean to assume. Well, I did, but I'm going to apologise and pretend that I didn't. But yeah, my bad. Anyway, so I remember when I watched the trailer for I forget the name because it's whatever, but the Star Wars Jedi game, not the most recent one, but the first one, the one with that like.
Yeah, I know you're not a fan of it. I know Quill really likes that game though.
Oh, so this is gonna. So I just remember watching that initial trailer and then like seeing the way the animation snapped, or like the character snapped into the animation. This isn't really a commentary on like the game itself, but it's just more in your reveal trailer. You're going to show these really staticky animations, and I'm like, we live in a post Devil May Cry 5 world. Like anyone who puts that shit in a reveal trailer.
I mean, I would, so like, it does not look great, but I also think about like shit like Cyberpunk straight up lying originally.
Oh yeah, like
where everything it showed wasn't in the game.
My main point is in a post Devil May Cry 5 world, if you're going for like your AAA over the top action game, you don't have justification to fuck around like that. And the actual game itself is, it was okay. I didn't hate it beyond just kind of barely remember it. But that's just Star Wars for me in general these days.
Yeah, you can completely check out Star Wars. Then again, so did I.
Yeah.
So like I kind of fell off Star Wars, but then again, Star Wars for me was always that kind of like mild fandom thing.
Yeah. But that's my point.
Yeah, game ads at all. Yeah, honestly, you need to see gameplays or demo in order to really get an idea of how good a game is actually going to be.
That's also kind of my point. Here was your like big reveal game, your big reveal trailer for a Star Wars game. This is like the triplest of AAA. This is your prestige. This is the shit you put out, so you get asses in seats, and you're half-assing it in terms of what you're trying to sell to people. And I'm like, man, literally, I was in my mind comparing it to Devil May Cry 5 reveal trailer, and I'm like, man.
I should decide because I just want to say something cool about Devil May Cry. Man, I love the opening credit sequence of that game. It's so fucking cool.
Yeah. Remember when games were allowed to be cool?
They still are. It's just, you just gotta look for them.
Yeah.
But I've always been the guy, like, to give you an idea, though, why it doesn't bug me is when I was a kid, I didn't really read, like, gaming magazines or anything like that, not until I was a little older. So a lot of times I would just, like, peruse, like, Funkoland or GameStop, just looking at shit and being like, this looks interesting, and then picking up weird crap all the time.
Yeah.
The closest I had to, I looked at a game in a magazine early on and was like, I want that, was, funny enough, King of Fighters, and I didn't get to play a King of Fighters game until years later. Hello, Sabo.
Oh my god, Sabo. He lives!
So KOF 94, just to kind of finish this little tangent up, was, it was in, like, my brother's gaming magazine, and I was like, this looks really cool! But I think it was, I don't remember if it was only on SNES or if it was the Neo Geo version. And then, like, years later, I saw 99 literally at a fucking Sam's Club.
Nobody had Neo Geo.
No.
Right,
That, honestly, like, how could you, considering how expensive that fucking thing was back in the day? They're still expensive, too. It's one of those things where I would love to own one, but Jesus Christ, I could never afford one.
Well, you could just, like,
Anyway,
you could use, like, the same amount of money and, like, I don't know, purchase a Magic the Gathering card. It's probably a much better investment.
What Magic the Gathering cards?
I don't either, but I was trying to think of something also that was, like, completely pointless but also ridiculously expensive. My brain hit on that for some reason.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm gonna get shot.
I mean, otherwise it was going to be, like, a variant cover of a comic book, but comic books ain't worth shit these days.
No. To be fair, the industry made sure of that.
Yeah, well, that's only as long as they've got manga sales to prop them up, they'll keep going.
They'll keep saying, look how good our sales are. As you look, it's like, huh, aren't these sales of, like, Chainsaw Man?
Wait a second.
I don't think they make any money from
They don't, but
No, you don't make.
the Western comic
Sorry.
industry props up, like, high comic sales, period, as if it's theirs, but they throw in, like, manga sales and Captain Underpants in there. I want to point out Captain Underpants is still the winner, though. I just need to be fair here.
No, fair enough. Good on you, Captain Underpants. I always remember. It's so weird, but every time I think of Captain Underpants, I like flashback to my school days because I remember like it was one of those classic things you have to do a book report, and like I don't remember what anyone else picked, but I remember I was me and this other kid, and this kid picked Captain Underpants, and they're like trying to sell The Hobbit, and I'm like 11 at this point. So I'm like trying to talk about proper, literature that stood the test of time. And there's this other guy who's trying to shill me on something called Captain Underpants. And I just remember being slightly indignated about the whole thing.
So you would be so what you're saying is when I was around that age and I had one, I picked a simplified version of Beowulf. So you're saying you'd have more respect for that than this?
Sort of.
Well, it's simplified in the fact that the English is like easier for. It's the same story, just the English is easier to understand for.
We all know the tale of Beowulf.
True. I'm not gonna reference the CGI fucking movie. I fucking hate that thing to death. I hate it so much.
I've never seen it, so
No?
I will.
I'm not gonna
There
reference
was
it.
a CGI movie that you hated.
Oh, okay.
I'm now reminding you that it exists.
Alright, kill!
Hey, Saber, remember when Star Trek Voyage did Beowulf?
What?
Star Trek.
Is that the lizard episode?
No! They do an episode where the holodeck goes crazy and a bunch of characters keep getting eaten by in the Beowulf program by something called Grendel. And it's like Harry Kim dies. It's like, why don't you just not go in that program after that point? And they're like, yeah, Harry Kim's gone, whatever.
Alright, we're gone. Just turn it off.
You know what? It's a useful it's a sacrifice for the son.
Yeah, only do it like 400 times.
Can
Luckily,
we kill Harry Kim yet? No.
No.
Damn it.
Luckily, I don't need to repeat my amazing Jonathan Major jokes because I told it to Saber like as soon as the news dropped. I was like, hey, I know how Avengers 5 ends.
Behind bars.
No, seriously, Jonathan Major's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He is. He says you could just see him sitting there, just like cursing Ezra Miller and being like, "How did you get away with it?"
Oh, there might be some reason. There might be one reason.
Knows where the bodies
I'm
are
not gonna
buried.
say. I'm not gonna say it.
Knows where the skeletons in the closet are. Knows what the skeletons in the closet are.
Well, he probably is one of the skeletons in the closet.
I think they are.
But like, yeah. There's somebody who's kind of who's definitely done with Marvel anyway. It's just more hilarious to me. But like, yeah, it must suck for people who are like making a career off of having to report on like all the
I mean, again, it's
upcoming
like
Marvel news.
I mean, again, like I said, it's the bubble. The bubble for a lot of this shit is bursting.
They're
And-
doing great. The stupider and worse Marvel gets, the more content they have to cover. They're like, fine, go ahead, burn yourself.
Oh, you're talking about the comic creators. I was talking about like the actual thing. That's comic creators. They're having a fucking field day.
Oh, who cares if Disney goes under?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
their fault.
I mean, I don't care what the content creators do either, because I'm just like, they'll eventually have to figure out something else to do.
Warner Brothers and Paramount might know, and that could be it.
Oh god, I
something.
saw that yesterday. They're in talks about it. I'm like, oh god, what the fuck?
Yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen.
Hell!
If you want-
Hell! Hell!
Speaking of Warner Brothers,
Oh yeah.
guess what's not happening this year?
Ruby.
No, well, yes, Ruby's not
I mean,
happening.
Ruby's dead.
Guess what else? Guess what Rooster Teeth isn't doing this year?
Ruby.
They're
Oh. Oh, they are dead then.
Yeah, there's no
No
convention
con?
this
Oh,
year.
God,
Instead
they really-
instead they just put out a press summary saying that things are fine. They're just choosing not to have.
It's fine. Everything's on fire.
But could they please get more subscriptions and give them more money? And also, Ruby is very expensive, so they shouldn't expect it to come out very soon because it costs like $2 billion per episode. It doesn't cost $2 billion per episode.
$2 million per episode. Fuck off.
$5. Let's see here. $5 in the.
$2 per episode unless you're pocketing the money.
They are. They 100% are. Considering they keep firing their animators and just as they just cycle through interns animated, so nobody ever fucking learns. Thus, the animation always stays at its level of myth.
So yeah, it looks like they're probably going bankrupt this year.
And then it's fine, because no movie project will ever be greenlit by Warner Brothers ever again.
Why not?
I mean, you can't get anything else greenlit by Warner Brothers these days.
I think one of the funnier things I saw was like Ruby fans were blaming H-Bomber guy for this.
Wait, what does he have to do with
He
Ruby?
made a video ages ago of just, critiquing Ruby. That's it. That's it. That's all I did.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, he might have damaged the sales of this massively popular, like,
By the way, that video is like years old and was like when Ruby was still doing fine when it came out.
I mean, the Ruby Reddit is now full of topics like, let's just be happy it existed at all. We had it even if it was
Damn.
Also, they're at that level of the stage of grief. Good for them.
Damn, that is miserable.
To be fair though, I understand being at that stage, considering I've been at that stage with like Mega Man Legends 3 for years now. I'm like, at least I had Mega Man Legends 1 and 2. They're a good game.
Maybe they'll just finally reach the point
Mega
of,
Man
well,
Legends 1 and 2 actually ended on a story.
Well, 2
Yeah.
was a cliffhanger.
2 ends with them on the goddamn moon.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a great game, love it, but it does have a cliffhanger ending.
So he ain't getting off that moon.
Now he's still on the moon. Love the game, but yeah.
I like to think he's like Boss Rabbit and that he was on the moon when the moon got blown up by, pick any trackable villain that's blown up the moon. In fact, pick any trackable hero that's blown up the moon.
You take
There's
the
a lot of
moon,
them.
you take the moon, you take the moon, you take the moon.
There is a lot of trackable characters that have blown up the moon.
Actually, one thing, because we're talking about the remake of this, one thing that would be a nice touch-up in a modern release would be, like, touching up, like, the slingshot aiming.
Yeah, I mean, making that, like, mapping that to, or, like,
Well, because, like, the adjusting it is, like, a pain in the ass. It's really hard to get it, like, in a precise spot.
yeah.
Like, the buttons aren't hard to hit, 'cause the buttons are fucking enormous, but, like, when you're trying to hit an enemy, it can be a pain in the ass. At least in the PS1 version. When we play 2 and 3, I can then comment on if they are better at it than this. But I'm not playing that right now, am I?
Right, can I talk about a topic that none of you have any interest or knowledge on?
Alright.
Is man, I saw -1 finally.
I got a lot of people saying it's doing good.
Yeah, it's good. Go see it. Literally the best movie of the year. And I'm not saying that because I'm biased. I mean, there's bias there, obviously.
I believe you. It's-
Everyone else has said it's the best movie of the year. And I'm not going to go into it because, there's like 10 billion videos of people trying to tell me shit I already know.
Trying to tell you how good it is, or things you didn't notice while watching Godzilla.
Actually, I will talk about one thing. I did get scammed by one of those, like, here are the references you didn't see. And I was like, you know what, okay, I'll see this, because I only watched it once, and some of these people might... And I read this article, and it's like, not a single one of these is a reference. Fuck off, person, or AI who wrote this article.
Or whoever
None
you
of these
played,
are
or
references.
whoever they plagiarized it from.
I'm gonna choose to believe that they plagiarized it from an AI. So it's like, none of these are references. Not a single one. And I was like, why didn't... I was just expecting it to be like, all the ones I picked up on, like, oh, the islands are named after specific islands from these movies. Of course I knew what movies they're from. Like the original 54 and Destroy All Monsters. Obviously I knew that. But like, that didn't even get mentioned, and that's the thing. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why is clickbait so shit?
Because clickbait is always shit.
I wanted to at least be told some things I already knew, not some things that are just blatant lies.
There's not even like, did you know gaming level? Damn.
Yeah.
Damn,
So
that's man, I thought we were at the bottom of the barrel with Did You Know Gaming. I didn't know it got even lower.
Oh, it got even lower. I think it was Collider, so...
Damn.
But yeah, like, I'm not going to talk about the movie because there's like literally 17 billion videos of people telling you why it's great and blah 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 this and blah 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 that and and the kind of
I can quickly tell you though, we want to talk about something positive, why Turbo Overkill is a good game. You can rocket jump with double barrel shotgun by shooting down.
Nice.
Like the scout from TF2.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Or if it's TF2, if it isn't broke, break it again and break it and
keep
piss off
breaking
all
it.
the audience. And then inexplicably they'll keep coming back for more, like abused spouses.
Why are you talking about me
No,
like
this
this?
time.
Don't worry, I'll get
No,
you out
this
here.
time Valve doesn't. Valve didn't mean it. Valve
no, you
still
don't.
loves me.
Quill, can you believe how he's talking to me right now? Can you believe this shit?
As you're fucking putting your,
Starting to bug me.
blush on to hide the black eyes. And Kate Newell's like, no,
Jesus
Dan,
Christ.
seriously, this time I'm gonna change. I'm gonna change. Just tell everyone that you've failed out. Just tell everyone that you stepped into CS:GO. They'll understand.
No one plays that. I don't play CS:GO.
Stop it! Let go of us!
CS:GO.
The only reason I own CS:GO was for fucking texture files for Gary's mod.
Now you really made me mad.
This
It's time
isn't
to get
joke,
rid of
I'm
you
dead
once and for
serious.
all.
Anyway, now that we've got a little too real with the allegory that Gabe Newell
Fuck.
abuses people. Sorry, Gabe. I mean, hey, look, listen, I find TF2's ability to keep going in spite of its company impressive, especially in comparison to Overwatch.
Despite Gabe Newell's best efforts to kill it.
Yeah, like, Valve is determined to ruin TF2 in the same way that Blizzard is determined to ruin Overwatch, but one of them just keeps surviving. Genuinely impressive. But yeah, like, I do it's the kind of thing where it's obviously a topic that, like, Godzilla stuff is obviously a topic I know a lot about, so it's always kind of irritating whenever you get the smug indignation of people, the sort of smug attitude people have when they, like, try and say, oh, it's good in spite of being this, or, oh, unlike all these other things, you know, it has characters. It's like, I can literally tell you, like, 10 of those movies that have great characters, you just haven't seen them, or you couldn't get past your fucking filters. It's kind of like, I got pissed off when, I forget if I mentioned this before, but when, like, Godzilla vs. Kong came out, everyone's like, oh man, I love how cheesy and campy and not serious it is. And I'm like, these are literally the points that you praised in this movie and the reasons that you hated, like, the King of the Monsters movie, like, 2 years before.
Oh,
What
God, yeah, I
changed?
hate that stuff.
What the fuck changed other than this one has stupid poop-flinging monkey in it? I mean, yeah, I think I like all animals, but I also think apes are just kind of lame. Like,
Is that why you like catching them?
yeah, like, just, like, you know, gorillas, right? Big fucking huge arms, all big and strong. How do they fight? They bite.
Again, like
They're biters.
Whenever they talked about that fucking trapped in a mall thing, it's like, and they mentioned gorillas, like you would want the gorilla.
Gorillas are predators or hunters. It's like,
Literally, they will. Literally, if you just don't make eye contact with them and you act submissive, they'll just leave you alone. Just don't go after their food. Just be submissive. Don't make eye contact. And you're fine.
What's the worst animal to be locked in a mall with? A dolphin. No, a dolphin.
Explain.
They're just psychopaths.
It's true.
Yeah, what if a few animals that kill for pleasure?
Not wrong.
And they are rapists. Much like ducks. Although unlike ducks, they'll go for other species. They'll go for other species. There you go. And also chimps wage war. you know, that whole thing about man is the most evil animal because only man wages for is bullshit. Chimp tribes go to war all the fucking time.
Actually, don't a lot of animals actually?
No, because not a lot of animals have like large tight-knit groups. It's mostly like ants and chimps. Like lion prides.
I thought lion pride is sometimes.
No, they just mostly avoid each other because they have like ways of marking territory. So very few of the time lion prides will ever really interact anyway. It's mostly like chimps.
Also, I have world first boss of the game, or world second boss.
Yeah, this is good. I mean, you know, this is, as I've said before in a recording that doesn't exist, that this is my least favorite boss anyway.
Well done.
Well, I mean, we said before too in the stream that didn't record all over audio, is that Ape Escape 2. So Ape Escape 1 has the better level design. Ape Escape 2 has the better bosses.
I'm not giving up that easily.
Or at least that was my thought, where that was it goes that way. Then again, who knows? Maybe my opinion will change when I do Ape Escape 2. Maybe I'll suddenly crown 2 the best one, but it doesn't have the best soundtrack because 1 has the best soundtrack.
Oh yeah, no Ape Escape has a soundtrack better than 1's, and you know it's good because so many YouTubers just steal it.
It's true, and a lot of them never even played Ape Escape.
Exactly, they just plagiarize from each other.
And it's always the opening theme too.
It's like what H-Bomber guy said.
It's true. I still think it's funny, you didn't watch that video, but you assumed that Internet Historian was a big part of the video because of how much his fans were flailing about it when he was like only like a 20-minute segment. Of like,
to be fair, I can understand why they would
video.
be. He did basically accuse Internet Historian and all of his fans of being anti-Semitic, so I can understand why that might.
Well, it doesn't help that it doesn't help that.
I'm not saying it's necessarily.
It is
wrong.
true.
I'm just saying you can understand why saying something, or making a point like that might.
I mean, you say that, but I don't think they care because then their response is to immediately throw
We're
slurs.
not here to have fun. This is all about payback.
Wow.
I'm just saying, if I was a racist and I was trying to pretend not to be racist, my response would be immediately throw slurs.
I've decided to take your little friend.
But then again, I don't know because I'm not a racist.
You have to play a simple game of hide and seek.
Oh, I thought you dealt with children the same way most Americans deal with children with a gun.
Oh God, no! I'm not a cop.
Terrible happens. The soldiers in the area are angry and ready for retaliation, and I won't be responsible for their
That's
actions.
silence after that.
Take a look around.
Oh no, it's more because I was like, wait, there was a school shooting. Oh wait, it's in Prague. It's okay.
Ride of your life.
It's okay. Prague is in America.
Here's the
It's fine
problem
to
is
still
every
make
time
that
we make
insult.
this joke, there's a high chance there could be one happening here, and which fucking sucks.
Right now. It could be happening to you. It could be happening to me. It could even be.
Well, you're in England, so the odds of it happening to you are very low.
Yeah, true. We're okay.
Because not every fucking drunk is able to just grab a gun at a fucking, like, crane game machine at this point.
Or be like that Scottish kid who got shot in America because some grandfather gave his grandson a gun as a birthday present, which it's like...
Are you sure that's in Scotland and not just Mississippi,
No, I said that
America?
was in America.
Oh,
No,
okay.
it wasn't America. It's the kid was Scottish,
Oh,
which is just felt relevant for, because I don't know. He doesn't like the Scots, apart from, you know, the Scots.
and the Irish.
No, the Irish don't care about the Scots.
Scots, they're ruining Scotland.
No, the Irish hate the English and also the Irish. The Scots hate everyone, but especially the Scots.
Scots hate everyone. You'll never
And nobody gives a shit what Wales think because it's Wales.
You know what's one thing I love about the RC car in this game? Is that when a monkey is dangerous and I'm a little bit nervous about chasing them in a long area, I can just send the RC car to run them over their feet over and over again.
It's one of the best, like, it is weirdly one of the best weapons for,
I know they nerfed it in the later games, so it doesn't automatically knock them off their ass, I think, in the...
yeah, but you get much, you get much more stupid bullshit to do
And
with
like,
that.
but like, they nerfed that, but then they buffed the hula hoop, so like, the hula hoop is just like, the best thing to use in 2.
Yeah, then in 3 you get all those weird costumes, so he's using gadgets.
I usually use the gadgets over the costumes, to be honest.
Okay. But like,
I usually use the forms here and there. But then again, who knows? Maybe I'm lying and misremembering, and I'll play it, and I'll be just using the forms all day long. I don't know.
you You're gonna be playing Yumi, right?
No, that's the girl, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna play
So this is one of those weird instances where so after
So-
Ape Escape 1,
Yeah,
the
explain
English
why
dub-
I don't want to play as Yumi. I don't want to be looking up a, like, 8-year-old girl's dress while sneaking up on monkeys. Like, no thank you.
you don't want to be insert whichever YouTuber is disgraced this week.
I don't want to be Dream.
We're taking pot shots at Dream now.
Why not?
Oh, yeah. What a absolute shit show that whole thing was. From like, I remember when he hired the fucking professor of mathematics or whatever to prove he didn't cheat in a game he obviously cheated in.
No, because I didn't
Good
really pay much
time.
attention to this fucker.
Oh, I only know about him because of that whole controversy.
I only learned about him because of this stuff, because, like, my knowledge of, like, the big YouTubers, quote, is very limited. I've learned I only know, like, a handful of them.
Oh yeah, every time I see like this thing about this huge YouTuber has done influences,
It's like, who's this?
who the fuck is this?
Like, what was it? I know, like, Ludwig is a really big one, and I didn't even know who he was until he was, like, in a Germa thing, and I was like, oh. I was like, who's this Ludwig guy?
I knew who he was, but I only knew about him because when the whole thing with last year or the year before, when basically the Smash Brothers, pro scene basically died, he funded a invitational only tournament to replace what should have been the World Championship that died because of Panda.
Oh god, yeah, the fucking panda shit. I forgot about that crap.
Yeah. And basically, that put Smash Brothers on life support, and then Nintendo's new terms of service basically has killed it.
Oh, sweet, I'm gonna go rescue the professor now.
No.
From the
Don't
clown.
worry about me. I'm
From the
fine.
How have you
clown.
been,
How are
Playboy?
you? Are you okay?
Terrible.
I'm fine.
Turbo
Good.
flu for,
Well, I'm
like,
glad to see that
Ooh.
you're all right. Oh, what a predicament
sucks.
I'm in.
Yes,
I need to
very
get out of here and back to the lab. Do you think you can
Oh,
help
that's
me?
my doorbell. I'll be right back. Sorry.
Sure, but how do I get in there?
That,
entrance is at
I
the
am
very
sorry to
top.
hear that, Sabo. How you
should
feeling
be
now,
able
though?
to get in here from there.
Better.
All right,
Better. I'm mostly
I'll be
over
right
it.
there.
I keep sweating though.
Not fun. Yeah, I'm glad you're at least doing a little better, though.
My sister's got me on Monday. She got so forced me to watch it. Which was not very fun.
Is this a sister that you got forced along the when she was trying to do the political campaign thing?
Yes.
She seems to just kind of do this stuff.
Yeah, she does.
Kind of just throws stuff
I'm
on
back,
other
sorry.
people. I learned that Sabo's sister got a new dog and then forced watching the dog upon him while he was sick.
Yeah, but we don't like his sister.
I was gonna say, is this the same one? It's like, man, this girl should just kind of force everything on people.
Yeah.
She thought I'd fall in love at first sight.
Did you?
I mean, I love animals, but like, if someone like threw an animal at me and said, "All right, I need you to take care of it without giving you any warning," I'd be fucking pissed because like that's another thing I gotta take care of, you know.
Although
I have fucking 3 cats. For fuck's sake.
my opinion didn't really matter because the dog decided it liked me anyway. So
Well, yeah, they'll do that.
It's a friend dog.
Big
How
dogs
big?
are always the big friend dogs.
like 30 pounds, which doesn't sound like a lot.
No, I know. It's like when my one cat, my biggest cat, like lays on my stomach when I'm taking a nap. Like you'd be surprised how much weight a 6-pound cat actually is when it's lying on your chest.
Welcome to my circus.
I don't remember how to fight the clown. Do I just hit him?
Hit him in the ball.
Oh, okay. I was overthinking it.
Yeah.
This is a game for children. Why am I overthinking?
Did a clown, did you?
Yes. I've hit myself before, even.
You wouldn't hit a clown with glasses.
Oh, you hit the clown with the glasses. That's a new one.
Thanks, Turbo.
This is a
Yeah,
funny
I
bit.
watched that. I watched that last night, actually.
You know, I
Good
mean,
movie.
controversial opinion, Wreck-It Ralph 1 is good.
Ooh, you're being spicy today.
Yeah, I know. I know. Might be the most controversial thing I've said today in all this time. Where I, you know, alluded to Game Rule and Valve abusing you. And,
That was so. That was fucked. I'm not gonna lie.
You know, Wreck-It Ralph was good. Wreck-It Ralph 2 was the beginning of
the end.
where it seemed like it was the beginning of the part where some realized in hindsight something wasn't quite right with Disney because they had a trifecta that just completely did a 180 on the worlds of these ones.
Yeah.
Almost like an entirely
Thanks for
different.
saving me. I'm
group
so
of people
glad to
had
see
taken
you.
control.
And glad
Oh, they
to
really
see
did.
you're
If you look
safe.
at Wreck-It
You've
Ralph, it has like
gotten
none of the same
stronger.
people on it.
Thanks to your gadgets, Professor.
Oh no, two. I mean.
No,
And
the
then, like,
gadgets
Toy
don't
Story
contain
3
any
and then
real
Frozen
power.
2.
It's
So it's
all
like,
in
yeah,
how
all
you were
these
able
movies
to
are
Frozen
use
2. Well, no, Frozen 2 had the
the
same
true
people.
power is inside of you.
I know,
Spike.
but Frozen 2 still did
You've
like,
grown.
hey, you know
You've
everything
learned
we
a
talked
lot,
about in
and
the
you've
first
truly
movie, yeah,
become
forget that.
stronger.
They didn't do that in Frozen 2.
You think so?
Well, they kind of did.
Thanks,
It wasn't-
Professor.
it wasn't as
But I
jarring.
don't feel
No,
any
it
different.
didn't. Did we watch the
By
same
the way,
movie?
Spike,
Isn't it at the end where
Have
they're
you
like,
been
you know
able to
what,
find
we'll
Spectre
be,
yet?
we'll be apart, and that's fine.
No.
It's
okay,
like,
I'll go back to
what
the
was
lab
it?
and
She
fix
goes to the
equipment.
forest. They're
If
not
we
really
don't hurry,
apart.
Spectre may change history forever.
They're
and
in two
destroy
different
us all.
locations, is all.
I'm afraid there isn't much time though, Spike.
Which is very different
Maybe
than
you should
like
continue
Toy
to search
Story's
for
thing,
Spectre
where
in the
they're like,
amusement park.
yeah, you
It
know,
could
we
be
would just
dangerous, so
help with every
promise me that
kid,
you'll
and
be careful.
then Woody being
will.
like, oh, I don't want to do that now. I'm just gonna go. I'm not the favorite.
I'm not the favorite, so I'm just gonna be a random toy.
It's like, wait, wasn't that the point of even the first movie? Aren't you going against that? Yeah. Bye.
Well, you know, I'm bored of my game. I'm just gonna play this other game forever. And everything will just be fine. That's what I did in the first movie. Said that if you do that, it destroy the entire game. Well, in this case, it's okay.
I also kind of thought Wreck-It Ralph 2's morals were a little bit fucked because it was always like, yeah, I just need to do what makes me happy, and it's like, okay, so I guess everyone else doesn't matter? Like, responsibility
aside from
or...
the morals just being messed up in general, that's like literally the exact opposite of what the first movie said you could do. Which is like, you can't change your role in the game or else the game will crash and everyone will be homeless. Or dead.
Well, it's fine because I guess they're all homeless anyway in that.
No,
'Cause,
just
yeah.
they fixed the game, and for some reason the game works without her, which is not how Wreck-It Ralph 1 was established things to work, but they clearly didn't care. And then there's just Bob Iger jerking himself off over how many IPs he owned.
Not for much longer.
And now he's like, oh God, the problem is we aren't putting our fingers in enough of the creative work. We need to do it more. Your whole fist is in there, Iger. What are you fucking talking about?
He's like, well, we put our fist in harder, you know, maybe this time it'll...
Maybe if I put my entire body in it.
Like our products, you plebeians, I don't understand what changed.
Why don't you like it, you peasants? Eat your gruel!
Keep telling you, it's very easy, just make good products.
No.
I get the feeling he legit doesn't understand what the difference between a good and a bad product. He's just like,
Well, this ticks all our boxes. It hits our test audience of this one guy named Daryl. He loved it.
So, I think someone pointed out that Hollywood people live in such a big bubble and have like such expensive, quote, fun, like, you know, having crazy, wild orgy sex parties
Blood orgy!
and lighting $100 bills on fire. That like they have no idea what's a good movie, what's a bad movie.
Well, it's time
They
for the
don't
roller
watch this
coaster.
stuff. They don't watch this stuff. They're like, I don't know, it's some crap entertainment that, you know,
I
the
can't.
peasants like.
I can't fucking... You sorry, you make your point. I'll
Yeah,
say what I want to do.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can't fucking wait for -1 to get literally no recognition at any award
Oh, it
ceremony outside of maybe it'll get a mention for best foreign language for can't fucking wait for all these useless pricks to just be telling me why. No, here's why The Flash needs to be up there for the best visual effects.
What?
Oh, you think that's unreasonable?
No,
You
no,
just
no,
say
no.
that?
I don't, considering cats. But
Yeah.
But it still gets a visceral reaction. You understand, right?
Yeah, I can't wait for The Flash to be up for best visual effects, or for us to live in a world where fucking the Marvels will have more Oscars than the Shawshank Redemption, because they'll get some hair and makeup thing.
Probably.
Anyone? Yeah, that's the point I do love to make. Anytime anyone tries to put any stock in like actual award ceremonies,
First roller
Just-
coaster death.
just remember Suicide Squad, you know, the original one, has more Oscars than the Shawshank Redemption. Just think about that. That's the world we live in.
Oh.
I mean, the fact that people didn't immediately just go, "Oh yeah, fuck this noise," when Cats was up there for best visual effects, when it hadn't even come out yet. When it had come out, they still had to patch it. But yeah, this roller coaster section sucks. It's like probably the worst part of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody cares about those awards anyway, so it's just.
Yeah, it's just so that
It's just a circle jerk, just similar to the game. It's just like the game
But
awards.
it's,
It's all a
you know,
circle
it's,
jerk.
it doesn't matter. No one cares.
it's just so they can jerk themselves off and then be
You
like,
know, I will say though, having done the roller coaster just now, I will say as far as bad parts go, it's like very inoffensive and it's quick and gone. And
yeah, I don't think it's as bad as like say the roller coaster sections of Spyro 3.
it's still better than any Donkey Kong kart section, but that's not hard to do. But yeah, it was fairly inoffensive. It is definitely a rough
How's
part.
it going?
To be fair, it also doesn't help that because I'm playing
don't
this
just
on modern
stand there.
hardware, there is a
Get
input
me
delay.
outta here.
I can't reach
It,
it.
like
from
it's my
here.
original disc copy, but it's on a
gotta find a way in there.
on a PS3
There
through
must be a way
HDMI,
in
so
here
there is a slight
somehow.
delay.
I remember that they walked me around that way. It took a long
That being said, I
time.
probably still would
Just
have
find
died.
a way and get me out of here.
But yeah,
Will
as I
you
said, I
hurry?
just find
But only
it
one death, and
hilarious.
honestly, I'm proud of that.
Okay.
Congrats.
Oh, hurry up. Please get me out of here. It's cold. I'm scared and I have a fear of heights.
I don't know if there was any other big news this week apart from the whole, you know, John Majors being a piece of shit thing. Glad they have infinite of him.
In the scrap stream, though, I do want to just mention again that I am very happy about the announcement for the Sega shit, like Golden Action OV, Jet Set, and all that.
Oh yeah.
And Crazy Taxi. Like, I'm very happy about that. I got hit by the knife. But, the Shinobi one I'm probably the most excited for, even though it's not, like, of those ones, it's not my, of the OG, my favorite one. It's specifically the one I'm most excited for because it's the team that did, that one really good, Monster Boy remake, and also the really good Streets of Rage 4. So because of that, I'm looking forward to it. Because they made some really good games before.
Oh yeah, there is an announcement we could talk about, Sabo. Farewell Zemuria.
Oh, yes, that's right.
I mean, we can't really talk about it because neither of us have played like any of the have actually played the games that lead into it, and or really
I don't even know what this
understand it.
is.
'Cause, it's in the
It's
next.
a Trails game.
They're going to space.
Going to space.
They come from space. No, they don't come from
They're
here.
going to space, and Green is probably coming back.
These are space people.
It's Space Reen.
Green is like that. Green needs to go into space.
I mean, he did go to space. That's how he got Reverie.
Yeah.
I think that's better for him this time. Yeah, not much to say other than
Oh, that Trails of Green series.
we might actually be getting to the end of the series. Oh fuck! Did you see them actually have announced like One Piece Brotherhood?
Oh, or One Piece Kai, or whichever you prefer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
I'm
did
gonna
see
say
that.
Brotherhood because it's like actually a remake, not like upscale.
Fair enough.
So
What did they just like redoing the whole thing, but like shorter?
I guess I just saw it was an announcement. Now it was like, oh, we're actually doing this before One Piece is even done. Ambitious. I'll never find the One Piece.
We'll never find the One Piece. I mean, I guess to be fair, it's a good idea considering people are now suddenly getting into it that weren't into it before, and the original series' pacing is fucking shit.
Oh, do you want to hear a funny thing slightly related to that? So out of the blue, my sister decided to ask me, hey, is Howl's Moving Castle any good?
Yes.
And I was like,
Next question.
yeah, it's good. Yeah, I said, yeah, it's good. And then she was like, okay, I don't think I'm going to watch it. What the fuck did you ask me then?
Is it good? Maybe you should have said no.
Maybe, but it's just more of the... Because it's so baffling an interaction. It'd be
Is
one
this
thing
good?
if
Yeah, alright. I'm not gonna watch it.
it'd be one thing if it was like me recommending stuff, because every time I recommend something to her, she never watches it, and I've accepted that. But then for her to come out the blue and say, "Hey, is Howl's Moving Castle good?" And I'm like, "Yeah, obviously." Right, okay, well I'm not watching it.
Why did you
That's
ask?
That's almost as bad as like you in the post-Gias days, where no matter what I said was good, you were like, well, I don't believe you.
Yeah, but you did recommend Code Geass. Oh, yeah. Took you a while to recover from that one, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Speaking of, when can we get another fucking Super Robot Wars announcement?
It has been a hot minute.
Oh,
Oh,
I guess,
yeah,
they're
but-
not, I guess they're not doing an end of show stream, an end of year stream like they usually do.
Which feels weird, because 30 did well.
Yeah, I think it just takes them a long time to make games.
Today's Combat 8! Bandai Namco, we make... Like, you've already got my money, just give me the games I want.
Right? I want Ace Combat 3 in space.
Couldn't you bring me down a little more gently?
Well, it's not my fault.
I hope it's in space.
Didn't you see that
Make
the
it in
cage
space.
fell on its own?
Thanks. You
That's
just
the
want
thanks,
Colony
I
Wars.
guess. Hope you didn't
I
get
just
sent
want him
to-
across.
I'll pretend.
Actually,
I
you know what
didn't
you
hear
want? You
that.
want,
Now, where
Rogue
is
Squadron.
Spectre?
I haven't found him yet.
We all
What
want
about
Rogue
Jake?
Squadron.
You don't need to call me out like that.
Oh, what have you been doing?
No,
all
but
this
you'll get
time?
there and you'll like it.
Let's go. We've got to find them.
Where are you going?
I'm going back to the lab. We can't find them or beat them without our equipment.
You know, I'm still remembering the fact that in Ape Escape 2, Natalie's voice actress is the same actress who does Misty in the original dub of Pokemon.
Yeah, because Jimmy is a...
Jimmy
he's called
is also Ash.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure most of the other, like, people from Pokemon are in there somewhere.
Probably. I mean, when we play it, we can figure it out. 'Cause I know I want to... I'm either going to do all of Ape Escape 1, 2, and 3, or I'm going to do 1 and then jump to, like, Mega Man Legends 1 and or 2, or I'm going to do the... or I'll do Ape Escape then Mega Man Legends. I've also been itching to replay that series.
Well, I just got an email from my aunt, and I'm not going to go into the whole detail, but she's one of the family members I really can't stand. To highlight how much I can't stand her, the most sort of recurring joke I have amongst people, I remember, like, someone said, "Oh, you're this aunt called," and I was like, "What does she want? You know, apart from the annexation of Czechoslovakia?" And just basically every time she comes up in conversation, I allude to the fact that she's the Nazi.
Jesus.
He is Dutch, to be fair. Well, also she's just one of these like thoroughly unpleasant people, but also very controlling.
So a Nazi.
Hence, you know, yeah, hence Nazi.
I mean, my opinions on Nazis are, there's only one type of good one in this, and they're about 8 feet under.
Controversial opinion, Dan.
I know. In this day and age, actually.
Yeah. Can't believe you could say that. About those wacky Nazis.
Oh yeah, it's time for the next boss fight.
Gets... checks notes Jake?
Yeah,
Ugh.
Jake in the English one, yes.
In the English dub,
Jake,
he's called Buzz.
We don't have to do this. Just come back to the lab.
Don't even bother, Spike. You and I have always
And
been good
as we all know,
competitors.
in the English dub, he's like, "Core blimey, Spike, apples and pears."
Oh, he's like very cockney in that one.
Oh, fuck no, he isn't. I just wanted to say that.
You know what? Fair.
I just remember thinking, like, go back to Overwatch briefly. Why is everyone else who gets, like, every other country gets representation in that game, in those games, and you know some countries get like ridiculous amounts of representation. Like we get off their third fucking Australian, and I'm like, meanwhile we get the most racist caricature of all time, with the most obnoxious fucking voice.
You're just mad because she's Cockney.
I hate Tracer.
I mean, it could be worse.
Not even a real Cockney. She's not trying to sell me the cheap stolen
I mean,
goods.
it's either that or a fat guy.
That would be sick to play at an FPS. Are you kidding? Basically, the fat controller from Thomas, or whatever he's probably called these days. I doubt you can call him that.
I have no idea.
I don't know. I haven't really. My niece has never got into
By the way,
Thomas. So I have no idea
when I was
what's
a child,
changed.
just figuring out how to fight this boss fight took me an embarrassing amount of time. To figure out that I'm supposed to just sit on this green thing, wait for him to charge me, and then punch him.
You know what? Fair play to Buzz. It's a cool car though.
It is a cool car. I would like it. But he'll only drive if there's green light, 'cause he's obeying the traffic laws.
It can fly, which it never does again after that cutscene.
Yeah, it flies in that cutscene, and he never uses its flight capabilities.
Well, why would it? Ridiculous.
Listen, we've already... He looked at the boss roster and was like, well, you've already fought, like, 2 flying bosses already. I can't be another one. I gotta mix it up!
Thanks, Buzz.
It's honestly very considerate.
I can't call him Jake.
He refused.
Yeah, but oh, like, you know what? You can have your Natalie's, you can have your whatever the CG girl's called. I don't know.
I don't remember. What is Natalie's name in the UK version?
Katie.
Okay. They're kind of close names in a way. They have that kind of
Yeah, it's
same
like-
feel.
Where am I?
It's not a big deal, but fucking Jake
Jake,
versus Buzz.
Are you okay?
Well, I mean, I guess there's the difference where Jake, at least in this dub, is like just kind of like
Oh, this
timid
is
sounding
so
kid.
weird.
Oh, he's timid in the English dub.
You know, honestly, I
but
feel like
What
Jake
have you
works better for a
doing?
timid kid than
Are you
Buzz.
okay?
I guess
Don't
there's
you
my hot
remember
I
take.
like-
anything at all?
I think Spike
Have
and
you
Buzz
forgotten
sounds like
about the
just
apes?
sounds.
I do
better
think
than Spike
overall
and
the
Buzz.
UK dub
Spectre?
does have better voice acting, but at the
Apes?
same time, this is
What
what
are
I
you
grew up with, so,
talking
so I'm like
I
incredibly...
mean, it has an infinitely better
Yeah.
Spectre. No one can argue
But
that.
like, I'm just so
Where are
nostalgic
you?
for this
You're
one
back
that
to
I
normal.
can't help but want
I'm
to
so glad to see you
play this
again.
version.
I mean, also you can't play the other version.
I
that
mean, I
helps.
can via emulation.
And apes or
One thing I do find funny though is after this game, like the English dubs, even though we continue having separate dubs, they're like, yeah, we're not gonna bother like translating these names, so everyone's just suddenly Japanese names.
Oh yeah, once you get the 3.
No, even in 2 it happens.
No, in 2 you have Jimmy and Natalie still.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In 2, we had a different dub
who's
still.
that? It's Spectre.
But they were Jimmy and Natalie in that one.
No, in the dub of Ape Escape 2, it's Hikaru.
Not
And-
in not in the English version, not
Yeah.
the American version.
Yeah, not the American version. In the English version,
Oh, okay.
I'll team up with you.
they suddenly all go have Japanese names. So instead of Spike and Natalie or Spike and Katie, it's Kikeru and Natsumi.
I think in 3, because of the original names that they had for the dub, they still have the OG US ones in that one of
Are you
3, I
really
believe.
going? Yeah.
Like, I think when they mention them, I
Back
think
in
it's still like, oh,
Spectre.
Natalie, and so
I'm
on.
going with you.
Yeah, so it's just weird when they're like at the
Ouch.
end of 2 when Spike
No.
shows up and they're like,
It's better
Kikeru, what
if
are you
go
doing
back
here? I'm
and
like,
help
that.
the
Wait,
professor.
what? But
You
that's
need to
Spike.
regain your strength. The professor will need your
Kikaru,
protection.
who are you?
What?
Kikeru, this is
Okay.
bad comedy.
I
At least now
understand.
we're in an era
do
where
that.
that happens
I'll
less
get
because they're
back
just like,
right
yeah,
Can you get
characters
back
just
there
have
on
a
your own?
Japanese name, nobody cares now.
Of course. No sweat.
Now they're like Japanese games
Okay,
on
then.
my
I'm
modern
going too.
systems. The fuck out.
They still are like that. Like there was like a fucking like review from a UK magazine on Mega Man Legends 1 where they were just
Good luck.
instead of reviewing the game, they're mad that it had bright colors and we're talking about the Japanese stock market.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, we kind of said before about, you know,
How game
Oh, what's
how
his name?
the xenophobia of like game journalism.
yeah, I was just trying to remember the name of that prick who does the Game Awards who tries to pretend he's
Oh, Jeff
not
Keighley.
slightly. Yeah, he tries to pretend he's not slightly racist, and by slightly I mean horrendously
Hey,
racist.
hey! Some of his best friends are Kojima.
I mean, I think if Kojima was aware of exactly what he'd said on his show, he'd be like, "Damn."
Oh wait, no,
I
you're
ain't
mixing
racist."
things up. You're mixing up Adam Sandler and Jeff Keighley. Adam Sandler hasn't ever been at the Game Awards.
Wait, I think you're mixing people up. I don't think it's that. think
Adam
Adam Sa-
Sandler is the one. No, Adam Sessler. Fuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think it's fair to accuse Adam Sandler of basically saying "bomb the Japs," which is what
I can't believe. I know you're quoting, but I can't believe you just fucking said it.
He did say it.
He did.
I agree.
Did you say you agree?
What?
No, I said I don't agree.
Oh, okay.
I don't agree with what you said.
It cut out for a second there, so I needed you to
Oh.
fucking reaffirm that on the stream.
And now
What
we're
the-
going to be cancelled.
Why the fuck would I say "bomb the Japs"?
You just did.
Oh no, I
Again.
did.
Like,
Oh no.
Adam Sessler is like the funny thing when that I know we talked about it, like at the start of the year because that happened at the start of the year. What was fucking nutty about that was I was aware of how bad X-Play was with that, but I wasn't aware of just how bad it was because I didn't remember how bad it was. I didn't remember Adam Sessler going through Japan in yellowface.
Yeah, that's just something you. Oh,
It's a whole thing.
I'm like one of the few people on the planet. I'm like one of the few people who's like, who's not in Japan, who's like, oh yeah, like when Tokyo got like, not to say that obviously World War II was horrendously complicated, but like the sort of bombing of Tokyo, or I guess you could say the raising of Tokyo and the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki were fucking brutal, borderline war crimes.
They are war
By
crimes as far as you ask
Yeah, I
me.
mean, by borderline, they are war crimes. We just pretend they're not, because
No, we had to. Don't you understand? I'm being
I mean-
incredibly facetious. I do not believe that for a fucking second.
Well, I mean, obviously, you know, Japan's not exactly innocent of the whole war
No,
crime thing.
hell.
With the whole Nan.
Yeah,
with
I was
the
gonna say.
whole Nanking
I was
thing.
gonna say. Remember Nanking?
Yeah, I remember Nanking. I also remember good old China being like, "Oh, you want to kill Chinese people, huh? Well, we'll show you how to kill Chinese people."
Not wrong.
Thanks, Mao Zedong, you cunt. Oh no, we're cancelling China. Oh wait, we were cancelled as soon as I said Taiwan is an independent country with its own laws and right
But we
to
were
exist.
canceled. I mean, we were canceled like years ago as soon as I started making jokes.
I was gonna say the same fucking thing. The second we said Winnie, as soon as we mentioned Winnie the Pooh in general, even not involving
No,
the fact that they're
we're,
ruled by Winnie
we're
the Pooh.
beyond canceled. We're upgrading to like Send Assassins level.
We are not allowed near fucking China.
Oh well.
They will kill us.
Oh well.
At least while that man's alive, they will kill us.
Good old Xi-Ping.
Good old Winnie the Pooh.
Same thing, really.
Yeah.
They are the same picture.
We said in the Lost stream, the reason why calling him Winnie the Pooh is so funny is because he's mad about it, just like Donald Trump with the small baby hands joke.
Yeah, it's the problem with like any sort of person in public office basically just has to roll with a punch, because the second you react, you make it clear that it bothers you. Then it's like, well, we fucking got him, boys. We got him. Let's get an entire franchise banned in China because he's got such a tiny ego. Or such
All
a
because that
fragile ego.
one image of Obama and him as your Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. Like you can't let people see weakness.
Like sharks, they'll fucking descend upon it.
More like chickens.
Oh god.
No, seriously, chickens will. basically peck to death any chicken that doesn't follow like the norm.
Oh,
So hold on. If Trump is upset that people say he has baby hands, does that mean he's gonna ban all babies?
yeah, now.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be too upset about Colorado, I think.
Ah, that's true.
I mean, he's very upset about Colorado.
What do you mean, just because I'm a criminal that won't let me on the ballot box?
Can't be on the ballot box.
Stop causing insurrections. They won't have to do it. I don't want to.
Look, he didn't say insurrection. That's such an unfortunate word.
Look, just because he promised to swear and uphold the Constitution doesn't mean he has to promise and uphold the Constitution.
My fingers
Wait,
were
because
crossed.
Wait, no, you can't tell they were crossed because his hands are so small.
That's why you didn't know. I mean, I don't have small hands. Stop saying I have small hands.
What's growing? We made that joke last time, but nobody will know because it was cursed.
I don't even remember the joke.
That you can't tell his fingers across because his hands are so
Oh,
small.
you made that same joke last night. I didn't even remember.
Ah! That's my secret. All I tell is the same three jokes. Insert can't bomb me a joke here.
The wizard.
I mean, I'm just saying, if DC had have just taken all the money they would have spent on Flash and used them to buy the rights to the Wizard, and then make a Wizard movie, it probably would have been much more of a success than the Flash was.
I mean, if they didn't have Ezra Miller and had an actual writer, maybe that would also help.
Maybe if they hadn't have used digital necromancy to get a whole bunch of dead people.
I mean,
To be...
no, honestly, that really think made it any worse. The problem is that most of the movies just we're talking to Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
That's where the problem started.
It would be very hard for any actor to do a movie where it's like you have to play off of yourself. Now imagine you're Ezra Miller. And you have to play off of yourself.
Crimes.
Huh?
I haven't done nearly enough crimes to imagine that.
Bad example.
It's
Bad.
like-
I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. I'm sure Aquaman 2 will save DC. I mean, aside from the fact that nobody's going to go and see it because they already know these movies don't matter because they're rebooting. So why bother going to see a film that you know doesn't matter? And also, where one of the cast members has to be hastily edited out of everything.
See, they should have recast her and then been like, hey, look, we recast her, and then they'd make a lot of money.
Or just
Because all of Johnny Depp's fans would turn out and see the movie out of spite. They didn't do that.
probably.
They didn't do that apparently because someone wasn't like them or something.
Oh no.
Apparently, Elon Musk has made a massive Amber Heards and they threatened them if they didn't do anything for them.
Yeah, that sounds like Elon.
Who the fuck cares what that has to say?
I mean, when you're desperate for money and the world's richest man is saying something.
Yeah.
I mean,
They'd be like, shut up or I'll buy you too.
that fucker isn't. He won't buy anyone. He's in so much debt after Twitter.
I mean, X. It's called X now.
I refuse.
It's-
Also, I think this was
yeah, it was. It might have been back when.
back when he potentially
Oh, when he still had money.
he potentially had the money to actually threaten them. So yeah.
I was buying at Twitter literally the worst business decision of all time.
Probably.
It's not even just that it massively impacted Twitter. It's also given rise to so many actual credible alternatives that simply didn't exist before, and also it's negatively impacted his other companies.
Yeah, because he's too busy fucking around on Twitter. More so
Well,
than he
also
was
he-
before.
Also because now that he's insane and just now
he
that
was
his
always
insanity's
insane.
been revealed. Yeah, now his insanity's been revealed and people aren't just like, oh, it's the quirky billionaire guy who made his money off of blood diamonds. I mean, what? No, it
Hey,
wasn't off
he
that.
inherited that money fair and square.
Yeah, fair and square. With a small business loan of $1 billion.
Small business loan.
You know what? Give Trump this. Sure, he caused immeasurable damage to your country and your economy and your reputation, but he did give us a lot of great memes.
I think I would take the I would take not having those memes personally.
Oh no,
It was
Boris
worth the
Johnson.
sacrifice.
No,
Boris Johnson.
it really wasn't.
Boris Johnson almost makes it worthwhile.
See, I can't comment on Boris Johnson because I didn't have to actually deal with him.
I can. I like the part where in an actual meeting with the Chancellor of the Exchequer, he said that, when COVID was first becoming a problem, he was like, I don't see why we should kill our economy for people who are going to die anyway. In regards to the hundreds of thousands of people who died from COVID. So, nice to have some compassion. I mean, I personally like the part where he basically accused my mother personally of being a murderer.
Sorry?
Oh, okay, so, during COVID, obviously, part of the thing was, trying to make sure the hospitals didn't get overwhelmed with COVID cases.
Right.
And, one of the things they did was they would send people with COVID when you had, an overflow of beds into care homes where there were some beds. Now, I don't know if you remember COVID, considering it's not been talked about in so long.
I remember COVID.
But what are one of the chief people who are vulnerable to COVID?
Or the elderly.
Yeah, so in care homes, where they basically have hospitals force patients or COVID patients into the homes, and they don't provide any of the necessary a lot of the necessary PPE. Most homes had to privately get all of the PPE themselves at their own expense. Yeah, it turns out you cause a massive problem of COVID being found in these care homes, which leads to massive amounts of mortality, which means a huge mortality rate. And of course, when this was coming up, why is there such a ridiculous mortality rate in care homes? He was like, well, it's all just down to substandard care. And my mother was working as a carer at the time in a care home, so even though she was meant to be a key worker who should get all this praise, we need to clap the NHS for giving them money. That was the whole thing.
Listen, you're
so he basically accused my mother of being a murderer while he himself was, where he was doing such busy, important work, like partying after Prince Philip died.
Or wasn't he also traveling during COVID too?
He was traveling. He was meeting people. He at one point said, hey, in order to show people it's not a big deal, why don't I just inject myself with COVID live on air? People were like, that's a ridiculous idea. And then, unrelated, he almost died of COVID, and I'm just thinking, man,
Shame.
I don't wish death on anyone, but it's like, for your blatant disregard for your own rules, and the amount of death and destruction you have brought upon everyone else for your own for your completely terrible method of handling it. It would have been poetic to die of COVID. I mean, as I said, I'm not going to say I wish he had, but if he had, I wouldn't have been sad. I'd have just thought, yeah, kind of. That would have been calmer.
Similar to me with Trump getting it and pretending it wasn't real for the longest time. He of course wasn't going to, considering his position, but
maybe if he'd have just injected himself with bleach.
I wish he did.
He would have been fine.
Yeah, because he would have been fine, so he should have done it.
It might work.
Actually, one of my favourite sort of lockdown stories is for someone who nobody will know, a character by the name of Rishi Sunak. Don't know what he's doing these days. But he was Chancellor of the Exchequer, which basically means he was in charge of finances. And when they were going to lock down, I think for the second time, he inexplicably, just before the lockdown was announced, left his home in left his flat in London to go back to his family home to be with his family. And you might think, well, that's a bit shitty. Just as everyone else is about to be told, no, you can't go anywhere. He just suddenly leaves, and he's like, well, I didn't know they were going to shut down London. It's like, oh, okay, so the guy who's in charge of all of the finances didn't know they're going to shut down the financial centre of, well, half of the Western world.
It's just his job. What do you expect him to know things?
Yeah. So thanks, Rishi. Man, I hope he doesn't have an important job these days.
Yeah.
Maybe he actually won the election. That'd be something.
Has he?
Also, he's oh no, he hasn't.
Good.
Because he even win the first. So when Boris was outed, because I don't even know if you know why Boris got outed.
That entire period of going through ministers faster than a head of lettuce is so tumultuous. I don't remember it, to be honest with you.
So basically, long story short, he appointed as his chief whip a man called Chris Pincher, who, per Boris's own words, Pincher by name, Pincher by nature, because he had a number of sexual harassment allegations and bullying allegations levelled against him, even before his appointment. So when that came out, and it came out that Boris knew about this, and explicitly said he's a bit of a groper, yeah, that kind of didn't go over so well. And then, yeah, the party had to vote to see who would be their new leader, and they settled on Liz Truss, who was like, man, what if we had this economy right and we just ruined it? Because trickle-down economics has worked so well. And then inexplicably was like, well, just because the markets all crashed and speculators ran like fuck on like the day of my announcement of my big economic plans, I don't think that was an impact, honestly.
Yeah,
the day of everything crashed. And she's like, well, it clearly wasn't because my plans are insane, and all economists were like, I don't know what the fuck she's thinking, she's nuts.
I don't know, Train, you're assuming a lot.
Yeah, but it's okay, because everyone knows trickle-down economics has always worked.
It works. It just works.
It just works.
It just works.
Apart from all the times it never worked.
What?
But just because something has never worked isn't an excuse to say it won't work this time.
Yeah, come on, let's just try it again. Come on.
Just because all the evidence and all the logic and all of the people who actually know what they're talking about in the world tell you that it won't work. I'm sure it will work.
Yeah, come on, just try it again. Try it again. One more.
Just this once. One more time.
Please.
Give us our fat payout, and also, part of her massive.
Oh, wait, no, not the payout. No.
And also, part of the massive tax breaks will also conveniently to benefit companies that she had previously worked for. Mysterious, that isn't it? Anyway, I'm sure that's all fine and above board, and it's not a problem.
That's a coincidence.
Yeah, what a weird coincidence.
It's a coincidence.
Thanks, Liz. And then she has the fucking gall to be drawing the fucking pension for that job.
This is funny coincidence. That's all. No need to read into it.
And now we have good old Rishi, who's not even like first place in his own party. They're like, well, fuck, we literally have no one else. Now he's desperate to not have an election, even though by this time next year he
By the way, I always
legally
love
has.
this cartoony ass puzzle here of the eyes bulging out.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Oh,
I remember someone once telling, I guess to go back to Resident Evil briefly, someone once told me, man, Resident Evil 7 has such a great puzzle. I'm like, it has one puzzle. It's got two puzzles. And only one of them is half decent. The other one is move this shape so that it matches the shadow on the wall. Ooh. And then the other puzzle, which I actually think is kind of cool, is you get locked in this room. But before you get locked in the room, you get a videotape that you get a playable flashback sequence that shows you the trap in action. So when you get locked in the room, you can use your knowledge of the trap to disable it. Which I think is kind of a neat concept, but to say, well, Resident Evil 7 has a bunch of great traps is frankly a lie. Or puzzle song, not tracks.
Then again, I had that same emotion people tell me Resident Evil 4 had great puzzles.
Oh yeah, like slide the thing so the colours match up. Or get the three keys that you've done in every other Resident Evil. This time it's special.
Especially because I played Resident Evil 4.
I played it too.
Well, I'm just making fun of the way they act.
Yeah, I mean, I would love if by some miracle, like the massive success of -1 did us lead us out of superhero age and into the kaiju age of cinema. It won't happen. It will never happen. But I want to believe. What I do think it's going to be very. Yeah, maybe we can finally get. Maybe we can get other attempts at doing these classic characters, because, I like Shin Ultraman and Shin Kamen Rider, but I kind of would like a more traditional one of those movies. I think Arno's particular style, worked great with Godzilla. I don't think it worked as well with Ultraman and Kamen Rider.
We'll just get Ultraman and Kamen Rider.
Maybe.
Without, maybe Sentai too. I mean, Hasbro's maybe that's screw it. You can have the license back, though. We can't afford it anymore.
But yeah. Although who knows, Netflix is also involved in that now, so maybe they'll hold on to it. It's one of those things is I'm going to be very curious to see what happens when whatever the movie's supposed to be called, Godzilla and Kong, comes out next year in 4 months. I'm kind of already envisioning it getting a bit railed because it's not -1. Because it's I've heard rumors and leaks, and it doesn't sound great from the things I've heard. I mean, the fact that one of the few returning characters is a fucking kaiju trooper.
I mean,
the worst fucking character in that movie.
It wouldn't be the first time something like this has happened. I still remember fucking when they made Pacific Rim 2, and I'm still mad about Pacific Rim 2.
Most people are mad about Pacific Rim 2. Yeah, you're better for that, honestly.
Yeah.
As bad as you think it is, and I know that all the major points. It's worse to actually watch it.
I know. That's why I never watched it.
Like,
But I'm still mad.
Maybe we should clockwork. Maybe one day all three of us should watch Pacific Rim 2 and strap Sabo down and make him suffer.
Like Clockwork Orange style.
Yeah.
Stop it! Stop it! Make it stop!
No, as he's watching that kid unironically watch the fucking troll video.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get angry and unleash the power of darkness.
Do it.
I mean, you've been very happy since Ruby's death, so I think it's about time you suffer the role.
You'll just see the dark void emerging as I scream in rage.
It'd be like rediscovering Ruby all over again for you.
No, he liked discovering Ruby. It's he just didn't like when Montione died.
Well, discovering his hatred for it is what I mean.
And they went great. And I didn't like how the fandom suddenly started treating it. So yes.
To be fair, I don't think anybody's a fan of Pacific Rim 2. Even those weirdos who are always no, I really always like Godzilla 98. It's underappreciated.
You know the part where
You know, liars.
Zane or stabs himself and he played in the dark
Oh.
years, that's
Oh, that was one of the fucking references that I saw get brought up in that article. By the way, is there's dead fish in this movie. It must be a reference to Godzilla 98. And I'm like, are you? And I'm like, what? Are you high?
I mean, it makes sense.
I mean, if they were gonna reference Godzilla '98, I know how they would reference Godzilla '98. It'd be like the last time they did. Really spiteful and angry. Yeah, remember that time when Toho literally just got Godzilla '98 and was like, yeah, so we're just gonna have him fight Godzilla and also he's dead in 30 seconds. Doesn't even get a hit in.
I don't even think it was 30 seconds. I think it was shorter than that.
No, it's about 30 seconds. Because it also includes the build-up. And then
Oh,
also,
the build-up for the gag.
And then also, just to really get it in, fucking Sum 41 playing. Which every time I see that scene, I always think, is this like a fucking 2000s music video? It's like, oh no, that's just actually the scene in the movie. Great.
They were committed to the bit, and honestly, I respect it.
I mean, they even technically have it referenced in like 2000, where they literally basically just have this line where a character's like, oh yeah, the Americans were attacked by Godzilla, weren't they? And then another character's like, no, that wasn't Godzilla. The Americans are just really stupid and have no idea what he looks like or acts like or is.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that bit.
Which, as I said, if they were going to reference 98, you'd know it. It wouldn't just be, there's dead fish, that means it's 98.
But that was a meme for like a day. That's a lot of fish.
Yeah, thanks and stuff. I always wonder, I always like to, always for a brief moments think, whatever happened to Doug? I'm like, oh right, no, he's still doing this
He's still
shit.
trugging along.
He's still here.
He's still alive.
He's still here with Brad Jones and freaking Larry Bundy Jr.
Well, Larry Bundy's there for the joke.
Yeah, Brad is
Brad is
like
ride or die.
Yeah, and somewhat understandably considering.
Yeah.
But
Well, other than that, that's really all there is. Just them and like the people he pays to be in his skits.
well, I said, just kind of impressed.
Because they're probably still around. I don't
Still
actually
there.
know that for a fact. I have not like sat down and watched any of this stuff in ages. Why would I?
I even know which of the old like Channel Awesome people are still around.
I know a number of them are still around.
Lots of people are, they're just...
They're either independent or they got actual shows.
Oh, yeah, Channel Awesome.
That reminds me, because I did watch a video about good old Todd McFarlane, and I couldn't help but, and now that we've mentioned it, I can't help but draw some parallels between Channel Awesome and Image. Where it's one of those things where it starts off as a nice idea, and then a whole bunch of personalities and stupid business decisions get involved and ruin it.
Yeah, that's about right, actually.
Although
I can't argue with that, to be honest.
Although Todd mostly ruined Todd.
Yeah.
Maybe if he didn't have like 4 lawsuits that he couldn't possibly win.
Can't believe Todd and Chad did this as a joke, this is a bit.
I wish Todd and Sherry would have paid Neil Gaiman the rights to his characters. Well, I like how that's not even the worst one. The worst one is when he just straight up used like a hockey player's name for a character in Spawn the cartoon.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I
he,
believe you.
Tony...
I just like, what?
So there's like a gangster in Spawn who's called like Tony Twist or something, which is named after some like I think it's hockey player because McFarlane loves sports. That's why he paid $3 million for a baseball. And then yeah, the hockey player's like mother saw the cartoon and she cried and rang him and was like, "Why are you involved in such filth?" So he was like, "I'm gonna sue this man for making my mother cry."
You know, there is something strangely wholesome about that.
Yeah. And then you know the Neil
What
Gaiman.
are you suing for? Me, my mom cry.
And also he wants the $25 million.
I'm sure that doesn't hurt either.
Yeah, I'm sure he's really sad about having to take $25 million from Todd McFarlane. And then yeah, Neil Gaiman is 100%. The Neil Gaiman thing is 100% Todd's fault because just because he wanted to leave it in, he wanted to create or forge a path in the industry where creators would own their creation doesn't mean a creator should own their creation. What if it affects him?
But only if I get to own it. But I also own yours. Yours? You mean mine?
I will say this, I don't actually think Todd McFarlane's a bad guy. Like, I think Rob Liefeld's a bad guy.
Oh yeah, Rob Liefeld is actually a bad guy.
I mean, he straight up, like, fucking blackmailed Kirby's wife into giving underset or lowballing on character rights, so, fuck him forever.
No surprise, he's also become like a weird, like, Trump guy, too.
He's always I mean, if you just look at him, you know he's a weird Trump guy.
Right?
He has the look.
He's also as creative as one of them, too.
You don't even know necessarily what it is, but as soon as you see his fucking obnoxious smiling face, you're like, yeah, he's a Trump guy. There's just something about him. But yeah, I actually think Todd McFarlane is one of these people where he's clearly like a flawed person. But I don't think he's actually a bad guy, because he has an insanely wholesome relationship with his wife.
I mean, people are complicated, unless they're cartoon characters like Rob Liefeld.
Yeah, I mean, Rob Liefeld's definitely not complicated.
The only thing complicated about him is how he draws chests.
He draws anything, really.
Well, not feet. He doesn't draw them complicated, because he doesn't draw them at all.
Remember that time Rob Liefeld made a comic book that killed a man?
I just want you to know, in my head, I immediately started picturing the scene from Batman Beyond. Do you even have the slightest idea how little that narrows it down?
Oh no, this was like the one time, I'm pretty sure this story's not happened anywhere else. And to be fair, a lot of it is speculation. But, I can't remember which, like, the editor's name specifically. There was an editor who'd been with Marvel forever. And this is after Image, because this is when Marvel was having one of its many financial problems. And they'd seen that Image had done well off of its, like, initial startup and, had taken a massive chunk out of their market. So, like, hey, why don't we license the Image guys, or some of the Image guys, to make our characters, or make comic books for us? And they did, and there's one editor who'd been with the company for years and was well liked and respected. He was a big health nut, he really took care of himself. He received the Captain America #1 drawn by Rob Liefeld, and you've definitely seen some art from that, because...
Oh yeah, the funny chest image.
Yeah.
I mean, who hasn't seen
And
the funny
he...
chest image?
Yeah, so he took, like, the preview of that home, and he was dead of a heart attack. He didn't come to work the next day, so he was dead of a heart attack. And, hearts being what they are, they're very complicated organs, people can have, like, unchecked defects and such for their entire lives. And it's just one of those things where you just can't be, like, the healthiest person can,
the way people
just fall over
die,
and
there's
die.
so many ways that you can die.
Well, like as I said, the heart is a very complicated organ and has numerous problems. But I like to think Rob Liefeld's comic did it.
He took a
I like
look
to
at,
think he
he took a look at
so-
Captain America's chest and fucking had a heart attack.
Yeah. Plus, also the actual book itself is pretty disrespectful to Cap. But it's Liefeld. What did you expect? So yeah, I like to think Rob Liefeld's comic killed a guy. So anyway, Ultimate Spider-Man, having not even come out yet, is already doing better than Amazing Spider-Man. Could have seen that coming, eh?
I guess from pre-orders.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm not surprised considering how fucked main.
I think they've also
timeline
had
is.
like. I also think they've had like a preview. They're not like quite an issue #1, but I think it's like a preview, like a
issue 0.
sort of almost issue 0. Yeah, I think they've had one of those, and that's not real. I mean, I have thoughts about Spider-Man.
I know you
Mostly
do.
that I have realised who. Well, I mean, I'm gonna steal a friend's line, sort of, where he said to me, people tell me, or people debate over who Spider-Man's greatest arch enemy is. Some people say it's Green Goblin, some people say it's Doc Ock, some people say it's Shocker, in reality, Spider-Man's greatest foe is the Marvel editorial.
Correct.
He's done more damage to his life than any other villain ever.
And he can't even fight back. Like, it's a hopeless battle. He can't win. He doesn't even know they exist.
How can you kill that which is already dead, or at least creatively dead?
Just think without,
But
without
hey, I
them,
did
we
see,
wouldn't have, like,
John-
had, like, all...
But hey, I did see a quote from like John DeMatteis, or just DeMatteis, telling about how much he loved writing Spider-Man and Mary Jane, and that was quite awesome. Nice. I might find that clip for you later.
Yeah, and then Marvel hears that, sees that, and they go,
He'll crush, destroy all your hopes and dreams. So I want to point out something. So Godzilla -1 costs like, I mean, they're not said exact budget, but it's the 15 million keeps getting thrown around. But also the director says, "I wish it was that much." And I want you to bear in mind, She-Hulk cost 25 million an episode, and it's kind of insane how good -1 looks with not even half the budget of a fucking TV show.
a good art direction can do a lot.
I think, you know what, I heard someone point out, you know what it is? Planning.
And
So like, Godzilla, well, because Godzilla -1, it's like every shot has probably been planned and pre-planned and worked out. Whereas like, the Marvel, like the current Hollywood thing is, yeah, we're gonna just like, make a bunch of scenes.
They just make sausage, basically. They just make them just sausage.
Not even that, they just make a bunch of shit and then eventually they'll just, and then in the end, later on they'll decide what they're actually gonna use. Like, you know, like, Black Widow, right?
Yeah.
All the action scenes for that were done, like, years before they even had a script. So they had, yeah, that's partially why the movie doesn't work, from what I understand. Like, most of the action scenes had already been done with no script. So then they had to, like, the script had to basically try and figure out a way to make all of these completely random interconnected scenes work, because they were just basically done as effectively overly expensive B-roll. So yeah, that's why movies are kind of fucked, because that's their methodology of, at the moment, of, hey, let's not like sensibly plan what our shots are going to be, plan it what we're going to do. It's literally just, let's throw as much money as we can into this, and hopefully something will work when we have no creative vision or direction or
See what
anything like
sticks.
that. Yeah, it's not even what sticks at this point, it's just hope that someone can find something out of this that's workable. And often and not,
Hopefully our
more
overpaid
uncertain-
editors will figure it out. Or not overpaid,
hold on.
underpaid. Overworked, underpaid,
well-
I meant. And I got my words all fucked up.
Fine. It's damn editors. But yeah, so I mean, also there's probably some amount of Godzilla -1 probably also benefits from the Japanese animation studios having.
I know people were, 'cause I know that there was a lot of like overworking, which sucks. People were pointing out the money. They're like, that's not a lot of money. I'm like, for Japan, it's a lot of money. They're getting paid pretty good, actually.
Yeah,
Because
it's one of those
they look
things,
at the thing,
yeah.
they look at the amount, and like, but I couldn't live in America with that. I'm like, you could live in Japan with that very comfortably, actually.
Yeah, Japan has vastly different. It's kind of weird to say that, like, in comparison, like, oh yeah, they are earning a living wage, which is better than a lot of animators in like America do. Probably, like, still not probably what they're actually worth, but yeah, it's weird like that.
Yeah,
But
it like they definitely
Also, yeah,
are like
living in Japan is
living more. They have more comfortable living space, and it's not as like nightmare.
well, not literally more comfortable living space.
Well,
'cause
comparatively, I mean,
we've all seen Japanese apartments.
true, but have you seen New York apartments? The cheap ones that you
No one
still
lives in
can't
New York.
afford.
No one lives in New York. There's too many people. Everyone lives in New Jersey. And goes to Crime Boss pizzerias. in Jersey.
That's fairly tame, yeah. Not as many crime bosses that I'm aware of.
Don't you? Maybe they're everywhere.
It's true. Maybe I am a crime boss. Did you ever consider that?
You don't sound Italian enough.
That's racist.
Yeah.
Hey, look. Lots of people. Hey, look. Lots of people can have massacres. Even the Irish have organised crime. It's called, you know, Irish government. Oh, that's not fair. A few years ago, it was completely fair to say that. I love you, my Irish friends. You just... No, not really, but if I say it, they might stop hating me for, you know, just where I was born.
I mean, to be fair, you are English, so, you know, it's kind of fair.
Yeah, but normally what you do...
It's just like kind of fair to hate on me because I'm American.
Yeah, but normally what you do in those situations where the Irish hate you because you're English, you're just like, hey, what is that over there, a Protestant? And then they're like, not on my watch, there won't be.
Okay, I need to stop walking in front into this thing.
Or if you're with the Northern Irish, you're like, why are you here?
I don't know why, but it's making me think of the French Canadians.
Those poor bastards.
Specifically the ones from... you ever watch Dan Versus?
Vaguely, but I don't know this reference. I
Oh,
just know
there's the Dan
actual-
versus Canada, and he meets the French Canadians, and he makes the horrible mistake to them of pointing out where France is and where Canada is. So they beat the shit out of it.
Well, fun fact about that, at least some of the French Canadian I know, that's maybe accurate, but maybe the wrong way around. So, French Canadians especially the ones who are actually know French.
Oh shit, we're gonna fight the final boss.
Well, a final boss.
The final boss, if you're not 100%ing it, which I will be going back to this next week to 100% it. You know what? Because of all the cutscenes and stuff, I think I know I'll have to run all the way back here, but I think I'm going to exit the level and stop playing.
Oh, that's fine.
Because it's gonna be all the cutscenes and catching the last
Going for a
apes.
while.
Yeah. I mean, I was
Yeah.
planning to go for a while, because especially with what happened last week.
Yeah, and then we don't get to hear Spike tell us about how power alone isn't strength.
We'll get to hear that next time. So let me go save the game. Okay, gotta save. And this time the audio worked. Yay!
Hooray! But yeah, I guess the point is that based off of some of the interactions.
And honestly, the only problem we had was the capture card, the computer disconnecting the capture card for some unholy reason, and I just fixed that in 2 seconds.
Yay!
Yay!
But yeah, basically, long story short, French Canadians very proud of their French heritage. The French people don't like French Canadians.
I do.
Although, to be
Oh no, I know that it was more of like a joke on the French Canadians saying that we're French and being angry about Canada.
wow.
And then Dan says, wait, I see the problem here. This is France. This is where you are, Canada, and all the way over here is France. You're just geologically confused, and then they beat the shit out of it.
Anyway, I'm just still gonna say, for Ridley Scott's Napoleon movie, he should have like literally ended with like 9-foot tall Wellington, like beating the shit out of Napoleon. Like, if we're just gonna not bother about historical accuracy, yeah, just have like fucking hench Wellington. Why not, right?
Fuck at that point, honestly.
Like, I've heard people say the ABBA song is more historically accurate than
Jesus.
Napoleon, which, as someone who doesn't like ABBA, fair.
All right, this is a good stopping point. I think it's time to leave.
Yeah, we insulted Ridley Scott, and he's a national treasure. I don't know which nation, because certainly not over here, but
Don't look at me.
you can have him.
I don't want
In
him.
fact, also, can you keep James Corden, thanks?
No!
Yeah. He's not
No!
allowed, I mean, you've got to. He's not allowed back here.
Well, he's going back there, so, you know.
Not on my watch, he's not.